Welcome to Stock Therapy with Penny Queen. Today I have CISO Global CEO Dave Gemmett with me, and we are going to talk about what I think is one of the most misunderstood earnings reactions I've seen in a while. So I'm just going to lay out the numbers for you. Gross profit more than doubled to 1.78 million, up from 706,000 a year ago. Gross margin expanded from 9% to 25%, which is a huge shift and speaks to the company's future direction. Operational loss shrank by 65% down to 1.71 million, and your SG&A was cut by more than 1.3. So the net loss was 5.38 million, and most of that was tied to legacy high interest debt that is no longer weighing down the business. But here's what I found most shocking about this. The stock closed, had a high of the day of 142, and then it dropped to 66 cents overnight. So the market completely panicked. By the next morning, we'd opened up back over $1. So I really just want to unpack all of that. I want to talk about the improvements, the roadmap, what comes next, because to me, the report looked like the strongest step forward yet. So Dave, welcome. Thank you for being here. And let's start talking about that margin improvement.
Thank you, Penny. The margin improvement, I mean, that's right sizing the business, making sure our systems and process procedures are more streamlined, and that really is what's created the margin.
All right. So are these margin improvements sustainable in the upcoming quarters?
It's sustainable, and we hope to grow those by continuing to grow the company and have operational efficiencies and sell more. That's how you get the margins up with the software.
All right. How much of the margin expansion came from Latin America versus business growth?
Well, interesting enough, all of that margin came from the US.
Good. So your guidance includes 34 million in recurring services and 5 million in high margin software bookings. I looked at your historical revenue and it looks like you're on track. Can you talk about how revenue kind of spreads out over the year?
Yeah, in our industry, both software and services. The first and second quarter are companies who've already made their decisions. When they make those decisions, it's in the third and fourth quarters. So we really actually, the first quarter and the second quarter are light as we're top end at the back, or the back end with more revenue in the third and fourth quarter.
All right. So now the balance sheet shows a working capital deficit, but that improved by about 6 million between Q4 2024 and Q1 2025. What steps are being taken to reduce this?
There's one way to do that, and that's to sell more and create partnerships and channel relationships one to many, and that'll make up the difference in the capital deficit.
Okay. And I just want to figure out exactly where we are with outstanding shares. I know there's a little discrepancy because there's issued and outstanding. Where do we sit?
Well, if you don't mind, I'll have to read this actually. So the shares issued are 32,599,442 shares. That's issued. But the outstanding is 32,042,967. 500,000 was returned to the Treasury when we took Latin America and sold it back to them. They also took their debt, and they also took their burn rate, which was not improving. So that really helped the organization. But those shares and the discrepancy is specifically of LATAM's return to the Treasury.
Is there an active plan to use or cancel the ATM?
There's no plans to use the ATM at all. We will cancel the ATM if it doesn't put our NASDAQ compliance at risk.
Now, with the stock trading below its software valuation and with no insider sales, is there a share buyback on the table?
Well, there's many different things on the table. In fact, our board meeting on Thursday, we discussed a lot of different options. That was one of them. But definitively, we are considering the options and how to move forward. And we'll communicate that with the street when we make those decisions.
All right. A lot of investors are watching for signs of dilution. Can you confirm whether there are any equity raises planned this year?
There are none planned this year.
Okay. All right. When does the blackout period end, and should we expect any insider buying following its expiration?
Well, Penny, that's a great question, but you probably understand I can't discuss blackouts and I don't control them. And because of the company and as fast as we move, there's been a problem with being in blackout quite a bit of the time. So, but all of the shareholders would love to have more shares.
All right. You can't blame me for trying. A lot of other shareholders are asking about your PR strategy. Can you give us an update on what you're planning?
Yeah, that was one of the other things that we discussed in the board meeting. We're currently looking and interviewing organizations that'll help our market space, especially where we're at today. We're just trying to find the right fit. And when we do, obviously we'll announce that as a company.
All right. Are you currently planning any strategic acquisitions?
Not at this time. We, at the beginning, that's how we started this company, to get the people, the talent, and then the software built and moving to our strategy of the SaaS model. So we really are not looking at any acquisition targets. Number one, it's a dilution factor to our shareholders. Number two, it would really have to add value if we'd even consider it. But we're really concentrating on the company itself.
All right. Well, given your proprietary IP, your high margin software, and your recurring revenue model, is a buyout something you've discussed at the board level, and what kind of conditions would it take?
Well, that would be something that the board would have to decide if an offer was brought to us. And then essentially we'd have to evaluate it. We'd have to get a fairness opinion because obviously you've stated, as the market knows, companies in the same space we are trading at 17 times multiple. Well, we're trading at half of our revenue, not even one times our revenue. So it would have to be something that would be sufficient to make the market comfortable in our decision of selling. But everything's for sale, but it has to be at the right place, right price to enhance our shareholder value.
All right. I think you've answered all my questions here. I just want to let everybody out there who's watching know that if you're watching the chart, we had a golden cross this morning at open, and it looks like a lot of people are paying attention, and the value of the company is starting to shine through. And happy trading for everyone.
Thank you, Penny.
Okay.